Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So first of all, I would like to explain about the maxim of al-darurah tubihu al-mazurah. So basically, darurah tubihu al-mazurah means emergency in situation or illegal things. For example, originally the hukum is haram, but then in certain situation, it's allowed for us to do it. So next, I will explain about the few example of situation which the maximum of the Ratubia Mazura is permissible to use. Example number one is it's cliche, but then um, can you imagine if we in an island with no food and no halal food, they only got pigs. So in this situation, it's permissible for us to eat the pork, even though uh, originally, it is haram to eat pork, but then in this situation, uh, we can eat the pork. So let's take a look to the next example. So let's say we're in an situation we are forced to maybe like drink holy water. If we don't drink the holy water, the person, the enemy will kill us. So in this situation, it is we are allowed to do what he said. But then um, our heart is stay in iman and Islam, so we are not meant to murtad just to save our life from the darurah. So there is a few situations that we are not allowed to use this maxim. It's not suitable to be applied, or it's not permissible to be applied. For example, we are busy with our work, and then we did not perform our solah. For example, solat Zuhur and Asar. So we can just simply jama or combine both of the solat. Right? There's no rukhsah there because we tend to do it like because we are busy with work. There's no darurah in the situation. So in this situation, it is not permissible to use darurah to be al-mazurah. So we can get this dalil from about this maxim of darurah to be al-mazurah from Surah An-Nahl, verse 106, which means anyone who, after accepting faith in Allah, utters unbelief except under compulsion, his heart remains firm in faith, but such as open their heart to unbelief. On them is wrath from Allah, and theirs will be a dreadful penalty. So that is all from me about the maxim of darurah to be al mazura. Allah Ta'ala. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Hafiz Muhammad. So I will continue into the next slide, which is Al-Darar Tuqadiru Biqadariha. Al-Darar Tuqadiru Biqadariha is an Arabic phrase that roughly translates to the harm is measured by its extent, which mean in Malay, kemudaratan itu diukur dengan tahapnya. It implies that the severity of extent of damage or harm can be evaluated or determined based on its impact or consequences. It suggests that the magnitude of harm can be assessed by considering its effect or outcomes. The second slide is the method is a limitation of the previous method, which is al-darur tubihu al-ma'durat, that authorized emergency assistance is limited to reducing the problem and cannot be excessive. Next is the example of the method. First, if someone has to steal to support their family, they cannot steal more than what they need or what is need to meet their demands for the day. For example, if a person in a life-threatening situation is close to passing out, if he does not drink, then he only allowed 2 sips of alcohol to keep him alive. That is where the concept of al-darurat qatar bi qadariha, which state that this method is only necessary when absolutely necessary. Appraised, however, this concept is urgent in nature. When the emergency is over, the emergency is over. In short, the state which is permissible to drink alcohol only exists when there is an emergency that causes us to die if we do not drink, and it's not longer an emergency when the victim has recovered. Another example is there is a rich person who received zakat because of a flood. At first, he was not eligible to receive zakat, but due to the flood that hit and caused him to lose everything, so that he was unable to survive, then he was allowed to receive zakat because he was in emergency situation, but the amount of zakat given is only according to what he needs in life, and when his life has recovered, then the zakat will be withdrawn.
الضرر الأشد يزال بالضرر الأخف. This means is the harm is removed with like the harm. This meaning is when two damages are present at once, the strategy is comparable to the preceding way, in that the larger harm should be eliminated while focusing on the lesser harm. According to this methodology, the more dangerous should be taken into account when there are two harms, or when there is a disagreement between two harms, by doing the less hazardous things and avoiding the more detrimental ones. As we know, some scholars have formulated the following method: إذا تعارض شران أو ضرران دفع أشد ضررين وأعظم شرين. That means if there are two evils or harm clashing, then the one that is more harmful and has greater harm must be eliminated. The story of the Quran, في دليل الله سبحانه وتعالى: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون في البحر فأردت أن أعيبها وكان وراءهم ملك يأخذ كل سفينة غصبا. Meaning, as for the boat, it belonged to the poor people who work at sea. So I aim to destroy it because there was a king who wants to seize all the boats. So they explain this. Prophet Kidde explained his purpose to each of the questions raised by Prophet Moses. Prophet Kidde said that he intentionally punctured the boat and had bought them because there will be a king on the other side who orders that every good and beautiful boat will be confiscated, which will cause the villager to lose their boat, which is the main source of transportation to earn a living. There are several examples of application of the method, such as if a person is praying while carrying a wand is on a limb. The wand will flow if he prostrates, but will not flow if he does not. In this case, the person prays while sitting and make the gesture of rukuk and bowing. This is due to the fact that living prostration is a less demanding situation than praying when in hadas. And the second is another instance is when a person decides not to speak out against the evil that is taking place right in front of him, because he fears that speaking out will just encourage more evil. And the last one is choose the family or money. Uh, Such as when a robber comes to raid a house and one of the family members is taken hostage, whether he chooses family or property, then he should give the property to the robber, because property can be replaced while life cannot be replaced.
Man istajala syai'an qabla awanihi uqiba bihirmanihi means who tries to hasten something before the time is over, then will as a result of not getting something. However, some scholars summarize it: whoever tries to hasten something that is not time yet and not for benefit of the permanence of something will bear the consequences of not getting it. So we as Muslim must wait patiently when do something and finish it when time comes up. The word of the Prophet says, calmness is from Allah and hasten is from Satan, riwayah of Bahaki. There are two examples of this method. One was the act of the murder. Wala yarisu al-qatil syai'an means the killer has no right to receive the slightest inheritance. The hair kills will, then the act of murder prevent the right to receive the property. In case the killer wants the property in a short period with the illegal action, it is murder without waiting until the time. The second example was divorce with talaq al-fard. A dying husband divorced his wife because he doesn't want his wife to get his property. Even though the wife was divorced, she was still given an inheritance because rejected the evil purpose of her husband, which was hidden in her divorce. Indeed, this talaq is true in Zahir but not in Batin. In this case, the evil purpose of her husband was try to prevent his wife from get his property, which with a divorce while he is dying in the bed. The wife has divorced. However, she will get the property when she get a divorce.
Next is ما ثبت بالشرع مقدم على ما ثبت بالشرع. That means what is proven by Sharia take precedence over what is proven by condition. An Islamic jurisprudential principle that give precedence to religious teaching and decisions above contractual agreement or condition is the idea that what is proven by Sharia takes precedence over what is proven by condition. The Sharia is religious law rule in situation when there is a contradiction between its mandates and any term or agreement put forth by other people. As we know in Islamic legal theory, the Qawaid serves as the major source of instruction, and then followed by the hadith, what Prophet Muhammad saying and did. Secondly, ijma, and lastly is analogy. Analogy is qiyas. So this is for Islamic legal theory, just like I said before that. So we need to know what example of masabata. Example is to buy product from companies with a reputation for unethical labor practice, and to buy from vendors who support fair trade ideas. As we know, the ma sabata bishari principle is applied in this instance, even while the contract may not specifically address ethical issue. So, Islamic law places a high priority on justice, fairness, and the welfare of the individual. And the last one, Islamic teaching us promote moral business conduct and forbid injustice and exploitation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rustam bin Zahari, and I will present about La yunkar tagayyur al-hakam bi tagayyur al-zaman wal makan. And the meaning is there can be no denying a change in law due to a change in time and place. It was also known as uruf. Uruf plays an important role in the determination of current Islamic law. So, because of that, uruf is considered part of the arguments of Sharia law that are not agreed upon in the Malikiyah school. And uruf play the large role in current Islamic law, and is it often given attention by current scholars through the study of fiqh rules. Among the rules of fiqh that highlight the influence of uruf in Islamic law are, the first one is al-adat muhkamah, and the meaning is custom, which is uruf, is the judge in the determination of Sharia law. And the second one, la yunkar tawayyur al-ahkam bi tawayyur az-zaman. The meaning is there is no denying that laws change with the times. There are two categories in la yunkar tawayyur al-hakam bi tawayyur az-zaman wal makan. The first one is thawabit. Thawabit means constant and unchanging. So there are some laws that cannot be changed despite the change of time and place. For example, prayer, fasting, and prohibition of adultery. And the next one is al-mutaghayyirat. Al-mutaghayyirat means that can change. There are laws that can change with time and place. For example, in ancient times, Allah legalized the marriage of a woman with her male siblings because humans in those days did not have many offspring. With the change of time, many offspring were born, and God immediately forbidden marriage between siblings, such as the story of Adam and the story of Adam. That's all.
Conclusion: the previously mentioned discussion leads to the conclusion that Muslims can always adapt Islamic law in the complex modern world. Thanks to the current fiqh application in their daily life, current fiqh is a flexible view of Islamic law based on its ijtihad on local community demands and environmental conditions. It demonstrates that Islamic law can address all of the concerns and issues of people in every setting and era, as well as demonstrating that Islamic law is appropriate for us to use today and in the